How are you? I'm very well, thank you. Unfortunately, my daddy ain't very well. You know, have you noticed on my films I keep talking about analog television and kidney dialysis? I noticed someone put a comment actually and said, you know, you keep talking about analog television and kidney dialysis. Well, yeah, that's damn right. Why do you think I started making these shit computer movies? The only reason I've started making these movies is because you've actually blocked my analog signal. You've actually blocked my analog television, and that's why I started making these movies. You know, I really wouldn't bother with a computer if I didn't think I could use my videos. Do you know what I mean? That's why I keep talking about kidneys and analog television. It's basically because if the analog television signal had not been taken down, I probably wouldn't have made these movies anyway, because I couldn't be bothered, because I've got videos, you see. You ever heard of VHS videos? We made 100 films. Oh, by the way, happy centenary, Hollywood. Actually, did you know, when my dad was having his operation, yeah, I'm talking about it all. Well, why do you think I came here? To talk about your socks? Do you think I came here to talk about your makeup or your socks? I'm talking about my daddy. Fuck off. I said, fuck off. Right? You don't like it? Fuck off. I'm talking about my daddy. Anyway, like, my daddy had a aneurysm operation for his heart, you know, like a blocked artery. They cleared the artery, got it all working or whatever, you know. And now he's got kidney failure because they locked off the kidneys for too long. The kidneys are actually working. That's what gets me is like my dad's got to have kidney dialysis. No, I'm serious. If you don't like this, fuck off. So if you don't want to watch it, fuck off. Good? Right. My dad's got kidney failure, right? And the problem is that because when they were doing the aneurysm operation on my dad's heart, they had to shut off the kidneys for about 10 hours or something. So they collapsed the vein. The actual problem is that they've actually collapsed the vein on my dad's kidneys. You know, you have an artery going from the heart to the kidney sort of thing. Well, what the surgeons did, was they collapsed the vein to stop the bleeding, to stop blood pumping. They actually clamped the artery for too long, for 10 hours basically. Well, you like hospital programs, don't you? I thought you liked hospital programs. You enjoy your Casualty and your Ward 10 or whatever. You enjoy your Hobby City and your Casualty and your hospital programs. Right, okay, here's a hospital program for you. My daddy had his kidneys clamped off for like 10 hours, right? So like the kidneys have failed, right? The kidneys have failed. So the kidneys won't work because the blood is not pumping into the kidney, you see. I said basically because the blood won't pump into the kidney. Because when they crushed the artery, which is not a very good idea. Christ's sake, what the fuck are you doing in your operation? You actually sort of like cut off the blood supply to the kidney for about 10 hours. And that's a stupid thing to do. Bypass! What you should have done is put using plastic or what's it called? What's that plastic stuff? I don't know. A plastic tube. You could have used a plastic tube to bypass the kidney into a dialysis machine while you were doing the operation. You should not clamp off the kidney. Because if you're operating on somebody and you clamp the kidney, then you're going to block the kidney. Then it won't function, will it? That's obvious. What you should have done is dialysis before the operation. So anyway, yeah, but they fucked it up again. And now my dad's got to have kidney dialysis every fucking other day for the rest of his fucking life. Well, I thought you liked hospital television. Anyway, did you know the very first... what you should do, what you need to do, is because you blocked off the kidney, so you got a pipe. The artery is basically a pipe, isn't it? Isn't the artery just a pipe? Yeah? The artery is a bit like a pipe. What you need to do, well, I thought you liked hospital programs. What you need to do is you need to get a plastic pipe. Silicon, that's the word I was looking for, silicon. You need to get a silicon pipe about the size of an artery, right? About the size of an artery. And you plug it into the heart, right? And you plug it into the kidney so that you get the blood pumping from the heart to the kidney. Because actually his kidneys, my dad's kidneys are okay. Well, I thought you liked hospital programs. My dad's kidneys are okay. It's just the fact that the arteries are damaged. You see, the actual arteries are damaged. Because you clamped the arteries shut during the operation so that the blood would not flow through the arteries to the kidneys. And now my dad's got a kidney dialysis every other day for the rest of his life, and you're going to have to watch this movie for the rest of your life for the next couple of days to get my drift. But anyway, yeah, so they blocked the kidneys, blocked the blood flow from the artery to the kidney. So the arteries got crushed during the operation, you see. So what I thought was having a silicon tube, like a plastic silicon tube, about like, which looks like an artery, well, it's basically like an artery, like a tube. And what you do is you plug the tube into the heart, and you plug somehow with sewing, very careful, sort of like microsurgery sewing. You plug the tube into the heart, the tube into the artery, so the blood flows. So that the blood flows. Have you ever seen A Fantastic Voyage? So the blood flows. So the blood flows basically from the heart to the kidney to pump the kidney, so that the kidneys start working. Because if what you've actually done in this operation is you crushed the artery, you didn't break the kidney, you crushed the artery, basically, because you had the artery squeezed for about 10 hours, so the artery won't work. So what you do is you replace the artery with a silicon tube. So you take out the broken artery that is damaged, right? You take out the broken artery, which obviously won't let the blood flow to the kidney. Because the reason the blood isn't flowing to the kidney is because you crushed the artery in the operation, didn't you? You know, you had to clamp the artery shut and then it won't work, so you can't feed my daddy's kidneys, so we've got to have dialysis every other day. So what I thought you could do is take out that damaged artery and replace it with a silicon tube. You know, like a plastic tube? Kind of like a plastic tube, like a straw, if you like, a straw. So you put a plastic tube into the heart where the kidney, where the artery was. Right, where the artery was, you replace it with a silicon tube, and then you plug the silicon tube into the kidney so that the blood pumps from the heart through the silicon tube into the kidney, and then the kidney starts working. So to get the kidney working, basically, to get my dad's kidneys working, if you can't replace the artery, if you can't clear the artery that feeds the heart to the kidney, you replace the artery with a silicon tube so that you pump the blood, so that the blood flows through the silicon tube into the kidney to fix the kidney. Because actually he doesn't need a kidney transplant. That's the crazy thing, you see. It's not the kidneys that have failed, it's the arteries that have failed. With my dad's operation and all this, the kidneys apparently are still alive. But the problem is the blood flow. The blood is not flowing from the artery, through the artery, you see, because they clamped the artery shut. Because they clamped the artery shut during the operation, the blood would not flow from the heart to the kidney. So they damaged the artery when they clamped it, obviously. So what you should do, instead of replacing the kidney, replace the artery with a plastic tube. I said replace the artery with a plastic tube, a tiny little plastic tube, so that the blood flows through the plastic tube from the heart to the kidney. The name is bones. Jim, I ain't no doctor. I'm a fucking postman. If I was a doctor, I'd have become a doctor. If I was a healer, I'd become a healer. I ain't no healer. I'm a fucking postman. But I've got a lot on my mind. My dad's dialysis. My daddy has to have dialysis every day for the rest of his fucking life unless we can sort this problem out. And I want my analog television back, by the way. You replace the artery with a plastic fucking tube. Simple solution. Okay? Okay. The reason the kidneys ain't working is because the kidneys were the actual arteries were clamped, right? For about 10 hours, which was too long. So the arteries ain't working, right? And if you can't clear the arteries, can't you replace the arteries with a plastic tube to feed the blood from the heart to the kidney? Because the kidneys are not damaged. That's the problem with this kidney failure. It's not the kidneys that are damaged. It's the bloody blood vessels, the arteries that ain't flowing to the kidneys, right? So you replace the arteries. Don't try and replace the kidney. Replace the arteries with a plastic tube. A simple fucking plastic tube to connect the blood from the heart to the arteries, to the kidneys. If you can invent a little bit of plastic tubing to fit into the heart to replace the damaged artery so that the little plastic tube connects to from the heart to the fucking kidney to pump the kidney, pump the blood, pump the kidney, pump the blood from the fucking plastic through the plastic tube into the kidney. That might be an idea. What do you reckon? Eh? Instead of replacing the kidney, just replace the artery with a fucking plastic tube. Because all the artery does is carries the blood, you see. The only thing the artery really does is carry the blood from the heart to the kidney. Right? That's what an artery does. It's a tube. Nothing more than a bloody straw. Can't we come up with a way to replace the artery instead of replacing the kidney? Because apparently the kidneys are okay. Well, they won't be for very long because they're not working. They're going to rot away, aren't they? They're going to rot away like old walnuts, Dad. Said your kidneys are going to rot away like old walnuts, Dad, unless we can get the blood pumping from my daddy. My daddy. I said, unless we can get these kidneys working, they're going to end up like old walnuts, you know, like a useless piece of fucking shit in your body. This is ridiculous, Daddy. I tell you, talking to my dad. Hello, Daddy. But can't we invent a tube? You know, a silicone tube. If the reason the kidneys ain't working, right, if the reason the kidneys ain't working is because the blood is not flowing, right? Now, if the blood was flowing, if the blood was really, really flowing into the kidneys, then perhaps the kidneys might work. Because it's the heart that beats the blood, right? The heart beats the blood, right? The heart beats the blood into the body. The body flows into the kidneys, sort of thing. Or the blood flows into the kidneys, doesn't it, from the heart? The blood flows into the kidneys from the heart.